Hi, I'm Dr. Kevin Jardine, and you're watching Snatches and Scotch.
Hey, welcome back to Snatches and Scotch. We're here in Toronto with Dr. Kevin Jardine, entrepreneur, medical practitioner. He's done a lot of stuff thus far in his life, and he's not even that old. And he's accomplished quite a bit. Family man, you have kids. So we're here to talk to you about, what it takes to be successful. You're involved in a lot of different things. How do you manage your time? Before we go any further, if you like the podcast, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Follow us on YouTube, and as well as Instagram. All right. My co-host Adam Wade. Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I do like to be busy. I'd rather be busy than bored. So I have kept myself involved with a number of different things. I always grew up in a way where I wasn't interested in any one thing for any prolonged period of time. So I always liked getting into a number of different things and keeping myself, kind of going forward and taking on new challenges. The most important thing I've done, you mentioned in the intro, is I'm a proud father of 2 girls, Isadora and Gabrielle, absolutely awesome. The love of my life.
How old are
and they're 7 and 5.
Nice.
So we keep them active and engaged with my wife, Tammy, and I. And then, I try to stay fit. It helps me continue to be able to maintain the energy and have the focus to be able to do some of the other things that I've done. And I love being an entrepreneur. I really feel that entrepreneurs are going to save the world. And most of my stuff in entrepreneurship is really centered around health and fitness and helping people move more and hurt less.
I like that statement. What do you mean by entrepreneurs are going to save the world?
Well, I think that, we're facing a number of challenges in the world, whether it's on a social basis or whether it's environmental, stuff like that. And entrepreneurs are always those individuals out there who are trying to solve those problems, trying to find new ways and new innovative strategies to overcome some of the obstacles out there. And it's really something I think that they're going to take their mark as being the top professionals out in the world solving those problems.
Agreed.
Now, you're a chiropractor by trade, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you were trained.
Yeah.
But on top of that, probably the thing that I most know you for, at least through chiropractic, is that of Spidertech. Now, was that the first sort of venture outside of clinical practice? How did that come about? Because CrossFit athletes, or even most athletes, they know what it is. They know what kinesio tape is, and that sort of spawned into a whole bunch of different things with rock tape and all these other sort of offshoots. Spidertape was sort of the original, right? So how did it come about? Again, was this entrepreneurial trying to just solve a problem that existed, and then, so how did it go from there?
Exactly that. It was trying to solve a problem. I was in clinical practice. I built a company called the Urban Athlete, and I was treating a number of professional athletes that, I could be treating them on Wednesday, and then Saturday they could be in Germany competing, and I'd be drawing them out like little instructions and cutting pieces of tape and saying, here's how you apply this. And they would come back, they'd be like, you gotta think of a better way to do this. And I happened to be doing that at one point with a patient of mine, and he took the tape and he went away on a training camp and was involved with cycling. And he came back and he was amazed with the tape. He said, he couldn't ride without it. And then as soon as he put it on, it was awesome. And he happened to be a leading innovator in manufacturing technology. Oh, wow. So we partnered together and we created Spidertech. And it provided the world with the first pre-cut, ready to apply, kind of easy way to use kinesiology tape. And then I spent years trying to build that company and train healthcare professionals and get athletes using it and help people understand that there are some good natural alternatives to helping reduce discomfort and keeping them active.
Yeah, because I mean, Spidertech. I mean, it went from being. I mean, you sort of saw it on. It started. I mean, I'm a cyclist.
Yeah.
That's my sort of my background. I mean, I had a bunch of buddies who were on the Spidertech, the Canadian pro team.
Yeah.
Swain Tuft, who ended up on Garmin. I mean, who was racing in Europe, and then you start seeing it on different athletes. I mean, you see it in the Olympics on volleyball players and all sorts of stuff. So it went from that to being huge, right?
Yes.
Now, are you still involved with Spidertech? What's sort of the evolution from that?
Yeah, I'm no longer involved. Like, for me, it's about taking on a new challenge, and the opportunity for me was to go and pursue some other ventures, some other areas of interest that I have with conditioning and leadership development, and also in nutrition. So Spidertech and I have parted ways, and I wish them all the best. The best thing for me was, as you were mentioning, in the Olympics, there were so many athletes wearing the tape that I could turn on the TV at any time and see an athlete wearing something that I had a hand in creating. And that was immensely powerful. And then having the opportunity to have trained and helped other healthcare professionals understand the power of neuroplasticity and the use of the tape, and that's just been fantastic. I mean, that is far greater than any reward I could imagine from that. And then I took those skills of building that company and what I've learned and, a lot of the failures that I experienced, and I've used that to help build other companies like Feeling Pretty Remarkable, which is a company that I developed to help people use mindset, movement, and metabolism to help them naturally overcome common aches and pains. So basically, taking the expertise of the clinic and providing it to the masses, because they may not have access to healthcare professionals like you and I.
Yeah.
I've created another company called Crossbell Fitness, which was once again solving a problem of, how can people with busy lives, like going to work, getting it done, get home, and still find time to stay fit? And for me, at the core of everything I believe is that all of your success in life is going to come from you. Your ability to generate and manage your energy and your focus. So, staying fit is a huge part of what I feel is a part of somebody's success equation in life. So Crossbell was something where, I helped develop with a couple of partners, a kettlebell that's water fillable that also has a hole through the center. So you could actually have it in a barbell mode, do barbell based work, and then take that off and be able to do things like kettlebell and dumbbell stuff, all with one piece of equipment that you can tuck underneath your bed.
That's awesome.
So that was fun. Hard because, building any business, you got to invest in it. You've got to spend time, resources, and you got to build a brand. And that can be challenging. And the latest one that I'm really excited about is Crossfuel. Now, Crossfuel...
I'm sensing a trend here.
Yeah, there is a trend.
There's a problem, and who's going to solve it?
Yes. Hopefully it won't progress into me being a cross-dresser, but all of these things are Crossfuel, Crossbell.
Yeah.
But Crossfuel is, I've developed it really for the everyday athlete who takes their fitness seriously and that really does care about the quality of the ingredients they put in their bodies. I've had the fortunate ability to work with and train some of the most accomplished athletes in the world, as I've worked with Olympians and world champions and Tour de France champions. And at the core of anybody's performance is, the quality of what they put in their mouths. Like, nutrition is immensely important. Yet there's so much garbage out there in the market and so many false claims and so many people taken advantage of that I wanted to put something out there that really could have a good impact on performance, that could help protect the health of the athlete. I've seen so many athletes, sacrifice their health to improve their performance. And that's really the goal behind Crossfuel.
Nice. I like it. I like the fact that you're releasing something that's really good, because most people don't know that when you go to a generic store, it's almost paralyzing. You walk into a store, and unless they have awesome branding,
yes,
you don't know what to get. So a college student goes into a general store where they buy Muscle Farm, right? Because they have the green and black, they got Arnold. It's
Yes.
branding. Not that there's anything wrong with Muscle Farm. I've taken it. I still do the pre-workout. But people get a little bit lost in
Sure.
that. So how do you educate people while branding at the same time, and show them that you guys are really, really good quality. No fillers, which is what most protein powders out there
artificial.
are. So how do you go about doing that? I mean, that sounds very, very challenging.
You hit the nail on the head. That is super challenging because for us, honesty and integrity matter. So it's going to likely be a slower build because we're not going to jump in the game of false claims and trying to just, pizzazz people with sizzle marketing that's going to sell them a product that ultimately they don't need. We really want to stick with things that have the finest natural ingredients and things that do have a result in improving your performance. So it's probably going to be a bit more challenging for us because we're going to stick to those rules. And we're going to look to strategies as far as the power of social. If you're taking a product that we've developed with Crossfuel and you're seeing great results, you're not getting any stomach distress, you're not getting the jitters from all of these stimulants that are in a lot of these products, and you're just feeling great and getting better results and training harder, then you're likely to tell somebody. Yeah. So we're really going to, put a lot of eggs in that basket as far as just putting a downright great product on the market and letting people experience the benefits and tell the story.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's very powerful for social media, especially because like we all have clients and I get complaints all the time about them saying, I can't take protein. It upsets my stomach. I've tried 5 different ones. And with CrossFit workouts at our gyms, they can be really, really intense. Yeah. And when you take a stimulant before the workout, I encourage people not to do that. Yes. Basic BCAA is fine with me. Yeah. But when you take that stimulant or when you have a tough workout, your stomach just kind of knots up. And if you don't have a good product, then you're just not going to feel good at all.
100%. I mean, there are some stimulants that are out there that are pretty safe. The number one,
coffee.
Exactly. More specifically, caffeine. Right. There is a bit of a difference between coffee and caffeine. But caffeine's a great stimulant for improving performance. Yep. And there are specific ways that you can take it to really help maximize the results that you get. But that would be a stimulant that is relatively safe if it's used properly. Yep. And then staying away from the ones that just really, get a person all hyped up and jacked up, and then they can't focus on performing at their best. And with something like CrossFit, it is an amazing system of fitness, and the type of conditioning that people are subjected to is vigorous. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we all hear the stories of the numbers of injuries and stuff like that with CrossFit. So I love CrossFit, and I love it for the fact that it's defined fitness and that it's very strategic on how to improve it. Mm-hmm. But there are some pitfalls out there with regards to how much people push themselves. Agreed. And a lot of those individuals, if they happen to be following dietary regimes that are nutrient restrictive or energy restrictive, then the likelihood of them getting injured can go up. Yep. So, the whole pushing your body to its limits thing really, I believe, requires somebody to get some extra nourishment in from things like high quality supplements.
And you gotta eat.
You gotta eat. You gotta eat. And for me, I'm often a little bit on the fringe of what the common trend is at the time. I'm more or less a paleo-esque or paleolithic eater, but I don't frown upon carbs as much as everybody. I haven't thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Some carbs, as far as quality fruit-based or root vegetable-based, to get carb-based and glycogen more specifically elevated so you can actually perform is a must, because we've all heard the stories about Paleolithic and humans evolved to live a certain style, but surviving and performing at your best they're two different things. Absolutely. So in order to push the human body to its limits, you need glycogen and you need carbohydrate. It's definitively shown to be a benefit.
Well, I think that's what a lot of the high or the elite level CrossFitters were finding is that, paleo was the big thing 5 years ago, right? It was like, it's got to be paleo. This is the way to do it. Yeah. And then as the CrossFit Games became more, I guess you'd say more intense, it turned into like a 3-day event, or even training where they're training not just 1 or 2 wads a day, but it's like 5-6 wads a day. Yes. You can't do it without getting enough glycogen in your system, right?
Yes.
Your body, you can only run on ketosis for so long. So as far as along those lines with Crossfuel, is it a bunch of products? Is it one thing? Tell us about sort of the brand and sort of what sort of aspects of human performance does it cover? And is it just CrossFit? I mean, we're pretty self-centered in thinking that as soon as there's a cross in the word, right, it's got to be CrossFit, right? As opposed to it's cross-training, right? It crosses all boundaries of fitness, right? Like, so, I mean, your background, a lot of it is with endurance athletes, is working with, pro tour cycling,
pro cyclists,
right?
So,
is Crossfuel just for strength stuff? Like, what's sort of as far as branding, like, what does it cover, right?
It's a great question because there is some confusion out there, or there is the tendency for us to want to categorize things. Sure. We want to put things in a nice, tidy box. It fits in this box or it fits in this box. Well, things like CrossFit, they kind of break that mold in that they are a combination of endurance and strength. So Crossfuel is one of the first products out there that really focuses on specific and scientifically formulated products that help somebody with strength and with endurance. Because a lot of the research still is very much based either in the strength camp or the endurance camp. Yeah. So we're putting a product out there that's really beneficial for both. And is it only for somebody who's involved in CrossFit? No. It's for somebody who does take their health and their fitness seriously. They could be somebody who's doing obstacle course racing. They want a high quality protein for tissue repair and recovery. They're looking for a pre-workout energizer, something that's going to help their bodies produce more power, create more stamina, and just overall develop more strength. So those types of individuals, this product is going to be suited for.
It's like a mixed modal nutrition, which is CrossFit, right? Like
CrossFit.
It's multimodal,
that's why it's called
right?
Crossfuel.
Right? Yeah. So everything's, instead of doing just multimodal fitness, now we've got multimodal fuel that will fit that. So I guess my question back to this, and I guess because it's not released, maybe you can't completely tell us, is it one or is it a bunch of things?
No, it's a full line.
Okay.
It's a full line. So there's, we're going to be launching in Canada in June, nationwide with GNC, our partner in Canada. There's also going to be the website, mycrossfuel.com, but there's a full range of products in probably 3 different categories.
Sure.
So products that are going to give you a performance edge, that's your pre-workout or your hyperhydrators, your, proteins and branched chain amino acids, recovery and repair. So different types of protein are better for repair than other ones that are better for, more energy utilization. Ones that are going to help you sleep, and testosterone, natural testosterone boosters, which is important, as I'm getting up there, and I'm in my 40s and I'm fit and I'm injury free, but it takes work to stay like that. So, these types of things help me, get an edge. And then there's other ones that are, more for the maintenance side. So a multivitamin that's geared more towards those fitness enthusiasts who really do push hard. And more specifically, everyone talks about the pro athlete all the time. These products aren't specifically engineered for them. Can it help them improve their performance? Absolutely. But is it really for the everyday athlete who wants to have an amazing WOD and they want to kill that WOD, but they don't want that WOD to kill them? Yeah. Right? They need to get through the rest of their day. I got 2 beautiful kids. I love spending time with them. I can't come home, nor can I run 4 companies feeling like a bag of crap because I left it all in the box with a great WOD. I got to get through the rest of my day. So these products help me with that, help with that recovery, help with the repair, and just help keep me fit.
I like it. We're going to take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what the average athlete needs, the essentials in terms of their supplementation. We talk about sleep and recovery and all that great stuff. Okay? Peace out. All right, and we're back. And we just found out that something really, really cool is going to be happening June 6th. Is that right? Rush Club, featured by SweatRx. You're going to release Crossfuel, and that's the big launch. You're also sponsoring that event. Yeah. And we're actually, Snatches and Scotch, is going to be announcing our formal partnership with SweatRx as well. We'll be working closely with the magazine. So we'll both be there and celebrating and doing exciting stuff.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to be a great event. I mean, it's the first time in Canada, I think they're bringing an event like that here, where the athletes are going to be up on a podium or stage. There's going to be an MC, and it's going to be amazing for the spectators. So if people are interested in learning what CrossFit is and seeing what it's like as a competition, that would be the event to do it. And then obviously come by and check out the booth, and we're going to have some samples and some giveaways.
That's my question.
Yeah, we're going to have some things to give away, some T-shirts and stuff like that.
Nice.
And people can get a little bit more familiar with what we're going to do. So we're very excited to partner with SweatRx on that.
That's great. And Canada deserves that because we've come a long way with our athletes in the past 5 years at least.
Yes.
And now we're on the podium, we're ready to go. So in terms of CrossFit or just functional fitness and stuff in general, just the way the strength and conditioning world has evolved as of recently, in the Quebec and Ontario area especially, very impressive. So I think it's a good time for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's an old saying that as the tide comes in, all ships rise. So with things like CrossFit and the popularity of it, it has driven the popularity of weightlifting and powerlifting and gymnastics and all things great and physical like that. So you see, tons of people who never before were able to make a living kind of giving technique and instruction of weightlifting because nobody was really doing it as a focus. Now they're hosting courses and doing some great stuff. I love it. Yeah. That's a true entrepreneurial kind of growth where something develops and then all these offshoots come off of it and it creates a ton of different businesses. Look at Concept as a rower. I mean, that company is killing it now, or Rogue. I mean, they're doing really well as
I like that
great companies.
Because CrossFit has that abundance mentality where they're trying to give to the community and build everybody up. Like when they started coming up and weightlifting clubs came to them, they were like, all right, let's get you on board. Let's do CrossFit weightlifting. Let's incorporate you guys as well with the powerlifting and with the movement specialists and all that stuff. So I like how a lot of it's almost like an organic growth of like the fitness world.
Yes.
Right. And it's so cool to see because we've been missing that kind of physical culture in North America, I think, for a long, long time. Yeah. Right.
I agree. So I totally agree.
Yeah. Really cool. So when before we left, I said we'd come back and talk about what the performance athlete needs. Not even the performance athlete. What do I need as a person
to grow your hair?
Yeah, grow my hair.
Obviously, if I knew, I'd use it.
I'm not that old.
Tell us.
Yeah. So I'm not a competitive athlete. I compete. I do it for fun because I love it. I love being fit. I have 2 kids myself, 2 and 5, and I want to be able to be energetic for them as well. And I work out, 4, 5, 6 times a week. Weightlifting, CrossFit, powerlifting, all the good stuff. Yeah. What do I need besides a good night's sleep and some good food to feel better, not to feel so beat up?
Well, you laid the foundation right there in that comment. The most important thing is obviously recovery with good sleep and a sound nutritional plan. The food, and there's no supplement that can take the place or repair a severely broken diet. So let's just call a spade a spade. You got to have good nutrition. Crap in is going to equate to crap out. It just can't get any more simplistic than that.
So cheeseburgers is not a good source of protein?
No, not a good source of protein. Maybe after a night out partying. Yeah. But all things being equal, everyone's individual needs are somewhat different. So depending on what your energy expenditures are, that can help dictate what you actually need to get in. But it is more challenging now to get quality food in, whether you have access to great food, whether you have access to clean food, right? And that's a serious topic now as far as, is your food manufactured and engineered? Are you eating beef that is, full of hormones and full of antibiotics, or are you able to get access to grass-fed, right? Obviously, the grass-fed kind of approach is going to be way better. But if you don't have access to that, either, for whatever reasons, then getting in high quality proteins like what we're providing with Crossfuel, whether it's a whey protein or beef protein or even a power plant protein that we have. Those are going to help support your diet. They're going to help prevent protein breakdown when you're working out. So they're going to prevent that catabolic breakdown of protein, and they're going to help start that process of repairing and regenerating new tissue. Protein is one that we really focus on because it is so important. Every structure you see in your body is made up in some way, shape, or form with protein.
Absolutely.
So you're constantly breaking down and repairing new tissue with protein. And then all of the things you don't see, like little carrier and transport molecules and hormones and stuff like that, are also made with proteins. So you need to make sure you're getting an adequate supply. So I am an advocate of people eating a very healthy, clean diet. If it doesn't run, fly, swim, grow on the ground or on trees, try not to eat it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm also an advocate of kind of the 80-20 rule. If you try to go 100%, and some can do it very successfully, and congratulations. Yeah. But for the most part, people need to have some level of cheat in their diet so that they don't damage their confidence and their success.
And food should be meant to be enjoyed.
At the end of the day, you want to have some level of enjoyability. It's not to say healthy food is not enjoyable. My wife, makes incredible meals. She's very restrictive on her diet for health reasons, but she's had miraculous transformation with eating really clean, high quality food. So I'm the benefactor of that because she obviously, creates the food in our household, and it's unbelievable. But I supplement. I would be very similar to you. I want to push hard. I know I'm not going to win the WOD, but I want to go for it. Yeah. And I've got 2 kids. I can't be, lazing around when I get home after work and just lying on the couch. So, I take things like a multivitamin to make sure I'm getting a broad spectrum of nutrients in my diet. I take things like a protein to make sure that I'm getting an adequate amount of protein in, and also to make sure that I'm stabilizing my blood sugar. I don't personally care if you follow a paleo diet or a Mediterranean diet, or if you're vegetarian, or any particular approach, if you feel it's working for you. But the most important thing with all of those is that you try to stabilize your blood sugar as much as possible. So things like protein shakes can help do that if they're high quality. If they taste like chocolate bars dipped in peanut butter and then deep fried, then they're probably not that great for you. Okay, let's just, let's call it for what it is. Yeah. So, a pre-workout energizer is also going to help give you a little bit of a pickup.
Now, what is that? What exactly is a pre-workout energizer? Like a BCAA?
Yeah, branched chain amino acids are going to be in there to once again help get the body in a position where you're not breaking down tissue. There's different versions of pre-workout energizers. The ones that I advocate, have things like beta-alanine in there so that you can push hard. For some, you get those tinglies.
At the beginning, it goes away after a while.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the benefit of it is great because it can help you push hard and not get that kind of burny sensation that develops in the muscles. So beta-alanine, betaine is another one that helps you push harder, gain more strength, develop more stamina. Creatine, that's just... that's an excellent product out there that's got some great research. Yeah, so that that's a great product as well. Things like that, and then putting caffeine in there. That's also another thing that's going to help to get the body prepared for physical stress and strain.
I like it. So obviously, Crossfuel will have something like that. As well. Now, are you guys going to have your own type of creatine? Like a monohydrate or anything like that?
Yeah, our products, sticking true to what our belief is out there, we're not going to have any hidden things on the labels. It's full disclosure, banned substance free, so you're guaranteed the product, that you're getting and that you're buying, and you're guaranteed the quality of it. So we're not going with any proprietary blends of hidden this and hidden that, which 9 times out of 10 will end up with not even those products being in that thing. Yeah. So ours are full disclosure, nothing artificial, stuff like that. And, really based on what the best evidence has to show with regards to, products that can help improve performance.
Yeah. I think you could speak to this as well, Adam. As an athlete growing up, like a high level cycling athlete, endurance athlete, and just, training now, if you take a supplement like a pre-workout, like a BCAA, for example, and it absolutely sucks, you don't get any benefit from it. And when you take a really good quality one, the next day you're like, wow, let's squat heavy.
Yes.
And you're just so fresh and so recovered. So why, again, obviously a higher quality product will have a higher price point. So what pisses me off is when people just say, "Oh, it's just too expensive." I'm like, well,
Yeah.
why not pay an extra $5 and get something that works?
Yeah.
Right. Just like, our services. If we're gonna charge very, very little for our services, then I'd question that. So.
Yes. That's a great point, because it'll be our job in the market to try to make sure that we educate the consumer in something they already know. Most people know, you either have price or quality, especially when it comes to ingredients. If you're buying a great big tub of protein and it costs you, $40, then then typically what happens in the manufacturing process to allow it to get a shelf price like that is that they've used inferior manufacturing or they've used inferior ingredients. So if you like being bloated and gassy and distended when you're working out, great, that might work for you. but if you want quality stuff that's not going to do that, then you're probably going to have to pay a little bit more. But there's a lot of education in the market that's needed. One of the biggest ones that is needed, especially in the CrossFit kind of community, is the importance of post-exercise recovery. So most of the research has been done on endurance-based athletes to get an adequate amount of glycogen replenishment to make sure your body goes from being catabolic, breaking down, to anabolic, building up. And CrossFit's no different. But a lot of CrossFit contention in that argument would be, well, a WOD is, anywhere from 5 to 10 or 20 minutes, sometimes longer. So we're not getting that, above the 2-hour zone that you would in as far as endurance, so you don't need that glycogen replenishment. Well, the problem with that argument is, we're not talking about relative, loss of glycogen, because, if we're going to train for 10 minutes, if I say you walk for 10 minutes and you're going to do shuttle sprints for 10 minutes, it's still 10 minutes, but it's vastly different, the intensity and the damage and the wear and tear on the body and the depletion of the energy systems that the body uses to perform. So in CrossFit, it's a common belief that, I just need to take branched chain amino acids or a protein shake after I work out. And that's just not true. A good recovery... Some scotch. Well, you're going to get lots of sugars, right? So it's important to get sugars.
That's right. At night after a long, 6-hour race.
Not exactly, but I will a little
that's what I heard.
A little trade craft secret here. One of the things I am an advocate of, even though I am a health and human performance expert, I believe this does help. I would give my athletes, cyclists and stuff, when they would travel, when they do the tour of China or other places where they're not sure of the quality of the food that they're getting, I would tell them to take a shot of vodka every night. And it would keep, for the most part, the team healthier than any other team on the tour, because it would kill anything, that would cause a problem in the stomach and stuff. I've had to travel with all the businesses I've built. I used to have to go to Tokyo twice a year. I've traveled to 32 different countries. And whenever I would go somewhere or be on an airplane like that overnight, I'd end up doing a shot of vodka. So there's some truth in what you're saying.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I choose vodka because it's
a little cleaner.
It tastes better, I think, and it's less sugar.
Interesting you say. I watched a podcast the other day with Mark Smelly Bell from Super Training Systems.
Yes.
And he was with somebody there, a world record holder, and they were about to deadlift, and they've been training for 3 hours. And before they went for a Walmart Max deadlift, they each had a shot of Tennessee bourbon. It was a really good quality bourbon.
That's great.
And they said that right before that max effort lift, it just calms your system down a little bit.
Yeah.
And they all hit it really hard. It felt really good. He goes, don't do it while you train or before you train, but before that one last max effort lift.
So you're telling the viewers to apply for a liquor license for their boxes, and then they can dole out. There you go. See an entrepreneur. There we go. We're solving a problem.
We just solved it.
There you go. Hairdressers have done it. They had a liquor license so you could have a beer while you get your hair cut. So
I think the only time I shouldn't say the only time I drank when exercising. I did my undergrad up in Thunder Bay, and this is when I was still racing a lot of road, and as long as it wasn't snowing out, we'd go out and ride for like 3-4 hours when it was -10, -15, and to keep your bottles from freezing, because we used to put like hot water in them. Go for a ride, and then halfway through the bottle will be frozen solid, right? So you put a shot of vodka in it just because it lowers the freezing point. It lasted about another half hour. It was good.
Yeah.
Warmed you up first thing in the morning.
So
too.
you never did the beer mile? You grew
Not
up
at
in Thunder
university.
Bay?
Well, I last year.
That's your next WOD
no,
right there.
So
That's your
last
next
year,
WOD.
I didn't sign up for the Open last year. Or last year I didn't sign up for it. And what was the first workout? It was like snatches and double unders. You had to do like multiple rounds of it. And everyone was taking it so seriously. And I was like, you guys got to calm down a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to eat a donut between each round and then open a beer as soon as I'm done. And I think I did 4 rounds. So I ate 4 Krispy Kreme donuts and then cracked a beer as soon as I was finished. It was a bad idea, but my glycogen was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Like, my liver didn't use any of it.
You were like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah,
You could just keep going and going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily advise that for a high performance strategy.
Terrible idea.
But hey.
For a garage athlete, maybe. But
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? What are your social media kind of hashtags? Do you have them ready yet?
Up on stuff yet?
Crossfuel, yeah, it's ready to go.
Okay.
We're going to be launching in June. June's the big month for us. Anybody that wants to connect with me, I'm on Twitter at Dr. K Jardine. They can access me through that or through Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, look out for us in June at mycrossfuel.com.
So you're waiting for the launch. You're not doing any pre-social media anything. You're waiting for that actual launch.
We have a Facebook site for Crossfuel, so people can access
Crossfuel on Facebook.
Crossfuel Facebook site. But we're really trying to have a curtain up, let's go kind of approach with the product, with the Sweat RX Rush Club event.
Yeah.
With that event, you mentioned a shout out. I would like to shout out to Christina Andali. I hope that she, gets fit soon and recovers well after her injury. So all the best to Christine.
That was we felt so bad. I actually really my heart fell when I heard it.
Yeah.
Because I know how hard people have to work to get there, and then even talking to her, she works so darn hard, and nutrition's dialed in. She's so dedicated. A 3-year journey, and then a freak accident like that, just not.
Well,
cool,
it brings up a very, very important point that I could actually talk about for hours, because it's one of the things that I do. I oppose the mindset of CrossFit in that they often will teach that health is fitness. Mm-hmm. And anytime you get a competitive athlete pushing the envelope of their performance, they can often take themselves into a realm where the performance can occur at the detriment of health. Yeah. So for me, in my world and what I've experienced, this is just my personal experience working with some of the world's best, that performance and health can sometimes be two different things. Yeah. So that in many ways is what I try to work with them on, is trying to build and leverage their health so that they have sustainable performance. Because it's, it is very common, with Christine or whether it's another athlete, they're one workout away from a devastating injury. Every time you're trying to push your best, you're trying to really reach in there, and what can be on the other side of that may be an injury.
Yeah, we've had many conversations about that, talking about, our gyms are practice. You come in, you practice for life. If you have a competition or you play a sport and you want to take a specific risk, you got to know you're taking that risk.
100%.
And I agree with that completely. Like performance, when you get to a certain level, you have to sacrifice something, and you got to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So all the best, Christine. We love you.
Absolutely.
Hope you get better soon. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Go to snatchesandscotch.com and sign up for the newsletter. We'll have t-shirts as well at the booth, at the Sweat RX on June 6th. The Rush Club, our buddies are going to be there as well. Bunch of performers, Justin Tamani.
Great list.
It's going to be awesome. He's a really good guy. So come check us out. Check out Crossfuel, grab some samples, and it's going to be a blast.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Peace out.
Cheers.
Cheers.